If you're a single career woman between the ages of 25 to 29 and you're living in China, you're probably referred to as a leftover woman.
Learn why successful single Chinese women face several setbacks in their quest to own property in their own country. Leta Hong Fincher's landmark book Leftover Women recently shed light on the resurgence of gender inequality in 21st century China. Many Chinese women are defying cultural norms by choosing careers over marriage and motherhood, leading to an increase in the number of aging single women. In China, any woman over 27 is tagged as a leftover woman by the All China Women's Federation. This term, ironically coined by the Federation, reflects shifting economic realities. Traditionally, marriage and family symbolize stability, but women are opting out. Tune in to explore why these ladies are steering away from marriage. The rise of single women. In China, bustling markets offer more than just fruits and vegetables. They provide a stark glimpse into the lives of millions of single women desperately seeking partners. These women, often labeled as leftover women, face societal pressures compounded by derogatory terminology, while their male counterparts are celebrated as diamond bachelors or quality real estate. This stark contrast reflects deeply ingrained cultural attitudes toward marriage and gender roles in China. President Xi Jinping's emphasis on promoting marriage and childbearing underscores the government's concern over declining birth rates. Against this backdrop, unmarried women over 27 are deemed as leftover, a term laden with negative connotations. Meanwhile, unmarried men over 30 are considered a hot commodity. The pressure to marry and bear children stems from the Communist Party's view of the nuclear family as crucial for social stability. Unmarried mothers face stigma and limited benefits, contributing to the societal pressure on women to conform to traditional roles. However, amidst record youth unemployment and economic uncertainty, an increasing number of educated women are rejecting traditional norms and embracing singlism. Official data reveals a record 239 million single adults in China, with a significant proportion of women expressing no desire for marriage. Despite societal expectations, many individuals are delaying marriage, with the average age of first marriage steadily rising. This trend challenges the notion of marriage as a cultural milestone and reflects shifting attitudes toward matrimony among younger generations. In Shanghai, the average age of first marriage for men and women has surpassed 30 years, indicating a departure from traditional norms. This delay in marriage is not only influenced by economic factors, but also by a growing awareness of gender equality and personal fulfillment. For some, remaining unmarried and childless is viewed as a form of nonviolent resistance against patriarchy. Feminist activism is constrained in China, yet the choice to refrain from marriage and childbirth represents a subtle defiance against societal expectations. By rejecting traditional gender roles, these individuals challenge the patriarchal structures that have long dictated social rules. However, their stance is not without challenges, as unmarried women may face discrimination and social isolation in a society where marriage is highly valued. Ultimately, the rise of singlism reflects broader shifts in Chinese society, where individuals are increasingly prioritizing personal autonomy and fulfillment over traditional expectations. As the government grapples with declining birth rates and changing demographics, it must confront the complexities of gender dynamics and social norms in order to cultivate a more inclusive and equitable society. Property rights struggles. In recent years, there has been a notable surge in unmarried Chinese women investing in property, a trend that directly challenges the long-held notion that property ownership is primarily a prerequisite for men before marriage. Just a decade ago, a mere 6.9% of unmarried Chinese women possessed property. Yet by 2022, this figure had risen to 10.3% as per official data from the Chinese government. This shift can be attributed to several factors, including the attainment of higher incomes, improved access to education, and evolving societal attitudes regarding women's rights. The village of Dardun, nestled in the southern province of Hainan, serves as a microcosm of the broader struggle against gender-based discrimination in property rights. When residents were informed of an impending tourism development, that necessitated their relocation, a stark disparity emerged. Only male villagers were slated to receive compensation for their homes. Outraged by this blatant injustice, 92 female residents banded together to challenge the village committee through legal action, demanding equitable compensation for their properties. This localized case of discrimination underscores a pervasive property gap prevalent in the world's second-largest economy. Despite women's substantial participation in the workforce, their earnings consistently lag behind those of their male counterparts, and they frequently find themselves at a distinct disadvantage in terms of accumulating wealth. Moreover, a judicial ruling in 2011 further exacerbated this imbalance by decreeing that property should be solely awarded to the individual listed on the deed in divorce proceedings, typically the husband. Consequently, women often find themselves excluded from property ownership despite contributing financially to household expenses. Compounding this issue is the prevalent societal pressure on women to acquiesce to unfair financial arrangements in marriage, a phenomenon observed across both urban and rural settings. In rural areas, women face even greater hurdles, as they are frequently denied the right to own land, despite comprising the majority of the agricultural workforce. In cases of divorce, few women even dare to petition for a share of land rights due to entrenched cultural norms and the lack of legal recourse. Recognizing the urgency of addressing these systemic inequities, organizations such as the All China Women's Federation have advocated for reforms aimed at ensuring equal land rights for all members of households. These proposals include advocating for wives to be named alongside husbands on land certificates, thereby affording them legal recognition and protection in property matters. However, despite these efforts, discrimination against women persists, rooted in deeply entrenched traditions and customs. The recent controversy in Dadun village serves as a stark reminder of the enduring challenges faced by women across China, where legal protections often prove insufficient in the face of deeply ingrained cultural biases and institutionalized sexism. Ultimately, the allocation of houses in Dadun village based on the number of male descendants within a family not only perpetuates gender inequality, but also fuels tensions within households, exacerbating divisions and reinforcing the notion of women as secondary citizens. Concerns about future housing security for women, particularly in the event of divorce or familial discord, loom large, underscoring the urgent need for comprehensive reforms to address gender disparities in property rights. China's dating landscape. In 1979, China implemented the one-child policy as a drastic measure to curb population growth. This policy endured until 2016, when it was replaced by the two-child policy, which was subsequently updated to the current three-child policy. Despite these changes, the repercussions of the original policy continue to reverberate today, with approximately 104.7 males for every 100 females in China. This gender disparity stems from a deeply ingrained societal preference for sons, rooted in the belief that sons are essential for carrying on the family name, inheriting wealth, and providing support for parents in old age. This cultural mindset creates challenges for unmarried women, particularly as they age. In China, there is a societal inclination for men to prefer younger brides, typically in their early 20s. Consequently, women who remain unmarried into their late 20s and beyond often encounter difficulties in finding suitable partners. Many Chinese men openly admit their preference for younger women, with some opting to remain single rather than enter into relationships with older women. This dynamic is reshaping the landscape of matchmaking in China, with a growing number of older single women choosing to forego marriage altogether. After decades of advancements in women's education levels, workforce participation, and social mobility, Chinese authorities now face a dilemma. A significant portion of women, empowered by education and economic independence, are increasingly resistant to traditional societal expectations of marriage and child-rearing. This resistance has led to the emergence of long-term single lifestyles, with online communities forming around the shared experiences of unmarried and childless individuals. These women cite various reasons for their decision to remain single. Some express a desire for self-exploration and personal fulfillment, while others highlight disillusionment with patriarchal family dynamics and the lack of enlightened male partners who value their autonomy. Gender equality also plays a significant role, with educated women struggling to find men who endorse equal division of household labor and support women's rights. The imbalance between educated women and men, exacerbated by the one-child policy's historical impact, has resulted in a scarcity of suitable partners for highly educated women. While not all of these women identify as feminists or intentionally defy government expectations, their choices reflect a broader trend of female empowerment through personal autonomy and decision-making. Analysts suggest that while the number of lifelong singles may not experience exponential growth, delayed marriages and declining fertility rates pose significant challenges to China's demographic goals. Over time, the enthusiasm for marriage and childbirth among women is expected to continue diminishing. As a result, Chinese society may undergo further transformations in its attitudes toward marriage, family, and gender roles. China's marriage market. In Beijing's Zhongshan Park, a bustling tradition unfolds every Sunday as thousands of parents and grandparents converge to participate in what locals term marriage markets. These gatherings serve as platforms for families to seek out suitable partners for their children, a practice deeply ingrained in Chinese culture. Yet Beijing isn't alone in this endeavor. Similar markets thrive in major cities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Chengdu, each boasting its own unique dynamics and rituals. At the heart of these markets lies a system of orderliness and structure. Families take to the park armed with handwritten signs, each meticulously detailing their child's qualifications and partner preferences. These criteria often encompass educational achievements, material possessions like houses and cars, and even specific universities attended, such as Tsinghua or Peking University. It's a methodical process, with parents and grandparents carefully considering potential matches based on these parameters. Families are stationed by their signs, while others roam the park in search of compatible partners. It's a sight to behold, the air abuzz with anticipation and possibility. Yet amidst the crowd, one unexpected visitor stands out: Rex Simons, a foreigner and a graduate of Peking University. Simons, known for his work with China's primary news outlet, CCTV, embarked on a curious journey to explore these enigmatic marriage markets firsthand. Armed with a camera crew, he braved the chilly December temperatures to delve into this intriguing facet of Chinese culture. Navigating the intricacies of the market proved to be no small feat for Simons. Despite his efforts initially, securing interviews proved challenging, as wary parents shied away from the camera's gaze. However, undeterred, Simons took matters into his own hands, crafting his own sign and diving headfirst into conversations with interested parties. It was a delicate balancing act, as he sought to capture the essence of the market while navigating the complexities of personal preferences and familial expectations, all under the scrutiny of his lens. Through his interactions, Simons uncovered a myriad of insights into the inner workings of the marriage market phenomenon. He was struck by the significance placed on seemingly trivial aspects like car ownership and housing, as well as the palpable concern over age, particularly for women labeled as leftover. This societal pressure, coupled with the looming gender imbalance where men outnumber women, adds a layer of complexity to the matchmaking process. However, beneath the surface, Simons discerned a more nuanced reality. While the term marriage market may evoke images of transactional exchanges, he observed a subtler narrative at play. It wasn't merely about arranging marriages, but rather facilitating opportunities for connection. Drawing parallels to online dating platforms, Simons likened the market's role to that of a matchmaker, offering a plethora of options while leaving the final decision in the hands of the individuals involved. The marriage market represents a convergence of tradition and modernity, where age-old customs intersect with contemporary realities. By bridging the gap between offline matchmaking and familial involvement, these markets uphold the cherished tradition of prioritizing familial harmony. And while Simons's own foray into the market may not have yielded the desired outcome, for many young Chinese adults, these markets serve as fertile ground for forging meaningful connections, guided by the enduring bonds of family. Domestic violence epidemic. In China, behind the facade of progress and development, lies a silent epidemic that haunts countless households: domestic violence. At its core, this issue stems from the deeply ingrained belief in male superiority over women, perpetuated by cultural norms and traditions. Consider the case of a woman in H Province, eastern China, who endured a harrowing ordeal shortly after giving birth. Her husband, fueled by a sense of entitlement and power, subjected her to a relentless barrage of verbal abuse for 3 agonizing hours. His words cut deep, leaving scars that may never fully heal. He taunted her with phrases like, "Stop crying, you idiot," and even went as far as to threaten her life. All because she forgot to inform the doctor about her inability to breastfeed, inadvertently leading to a medical complication. This incident is not isolated. It echoes the experiences of countless women across China who suffer in silence behind closed doors. For many, the fear of violence looms large, especially if they do not conform to traditional gender roles. Women who choose not to work or challenge the status quo are particularly vulnerable targets. The statistics paint a grim picture. Over 90 million married women in China face the specter of domestic violence. Shockingly, around 157,000 women take their own lives each year. More alarming still is the fact that 60% of these incidents are directly linked to domestic abuse. The consequences of this pervasive issue extend far beyond individual households. It casts a long shadow over society, instilling fear and uncertainty in the hearts of women. The prospect of marriage and motherhood, once cherished ideals, now evokes feelings of dread for many. Shifting dynamics. In 2018, HSBC observed that a striking 80% of women aged 25 to 54 were actively engaged in China's workforce, a noteworthy figure surpassing the global average of 62%. Additionally, national statistics from 2020 indicated that females constituted a substantial 52.1% of local committee employees, marking a significant presence in various sectors. Moreover, the enrollment of women in tertiary education had exceeded that of men, with 58% of women enrolled compared to 42% of men, showcasing a notable educational attainment trend favoring women. Dr. Kaiping Peng, a psychology professor at Tsinghua University, estimated that a considerable 70% of employees in international corporations situated in Shanghai's Pudong or Beijing's Central Business District were unmarried women, often referred to as Chinese leftover women. This term underscores the societal pressure faced by single women, a sentiment further underscored by a 2021 survey conducted by China's Communist Youth League, which revealed that nearly half of young urban women expressed no intention of marriage in the near future. Economically, the market is capitalizing on these demographic shifts, notably evident in the exponential growth of Singles' Day, which has transcended to become the world's largest annual shopping festival, surpassing even the renowned Black Friday. Tmall, for instance, witnessed a staggering surge in gross merchandise value from 120.1 billion yuan in 2016 to a remarkable 540.3 billion yuan in 2021. Notably, in 2020, Singles' Day sales in China alone amounted to a staggering $74.1 billion, far outstripping the $22.1 billion generated on Black Friday in the US. Marketing strategies have adapted accordingly, with companies like SK-II tailoring campaigns to resonate with single women, evident in the success of their feminist advertisement that embraced and empowered leftover women. This shift in marketing has yielded tangible results, with SK-II experiencing a sales surge of over 50% in just a few months following the release of the ad. Economically, China is undergoing a transition from a communal mindset to a more individualistic one, driving consumption patterns towards non-essential goods that reflect personal identity and status. Specifically, individuals with a monthly income exceeding 30,000 yuan are increasingly inclined to invest in premium products, indicative of a broader societal shift. Despite these economic strides, societal pressures on single women to conform to traditional norms and marry early persist. To counter such pressures, many women utilize luxury purchases as a means of asserting independence and deflecting familial scrutiny. By flaunting high-end apparel and accessories, women project an image of success, thereby mitigating criticism regarding their marital status. Moreover, single women are increasingly prioritizing fitness, beauty, and self-care, with a notable uptick in gym attendance and cosmetic sales. The burgeoning she economy underscores this trend, with online female shoppers reaching 581 million by 2022, with a significant portion of their expenditure directed towards beauty and skincare products. The food industry has also adapted to cater to the needs of single consumers, evidenced by the emergence of one-person meal options. Likewise, household appliances are now designed with single-person usage in mind, reflecting a broader shift in consumption patterns. Travel has also emerged as a significant expenditure for single women, with female travelers outspending their male counterparts by 33% in 2021. Additionally, there has been a notable surge in solo outdoor trips, highlighting a growing trend toward independent travel among women. Furthermore, the housing market has witnessed an influx of single women, particularly in gentrified areas where apartments are increasingly being owned rather than rented. Notably, single women have seen a disproportionate rise in home ownership compared to single men, indicating shifting dynamics within the housing sector. Cultural challenges. Fear of living with the husband's family is a pervasive concern among women in China, stemming from the entrenched practice of multi-generational households. In this cultural tradition, when a woman ties the knot, she typically relocates to her husband's family home, which often entails a significant adjustment and upheaval in her daily life. The shift is not merely geographical, but encompasses a complex web of familial relationships and societal expectations. Living arrangements within these extended families often lead to discomfort and strain. Simple differences in daily habits, such as the limited use of lighting, the reuse of leftovers, and stringent water conservation measures, can cause friction and feelings of confinement for the newly married woman. One individual recounted her experience on a Taiwan news forum, expressing her unease with her in-laws' customs, including their frugal use of resources and insistence on strict bathroom protocols. The lack of autonomy and privacy exacerbates the situation, as couples find it challenging to carve out quality time together amidst the constant presence of extended family members. This fear of living with the husband's family is deeply ingrained in many Asian cultures, where it inadvertently sets the stage for conflict between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, trapping women in a relentless power struggle beneath the same roof. The strain and exhaustion resulting from this dynamic contribute to a broader societal issue, the deadly crisis of single women in China. For many women, the prospect of marriage becomes fraught with trepidation, prompting them to delay or altogether forego tying the knot in search of independence and autonomy. Economic factors further compound this dilemma, particularly in the realm of real estate. The exorbitant costs associated with purchasing a home render it an unattainable dream for many young couples. Consequently, a significant portion of the younger generation is foresaid to either continue living with their parents or navigate the challenging rental market, where high prices and limited options add to their financial burdens. Despite the relaxation of the one-child policy in 2015, the birth rate continues to decline, reflecting the economic uncertainties that dissuade young couples from starting families. The emergence of the Moonlight Clan phenomenon further underscores the financial challenges facing young people in China. This cohort, characterized by their propensity to exhaust their monthly earnings on immediate gratification rather than saving for the future, embodies a generation grappling with economic instability and uncertainty. The allure of a carefree lifestyle clashes with the harsh realities of adulthood, as financial constraints hinder their ability to pursue meaningful relationships and build stable households. In this landscape, a man's financial standing assumes paramount importance when it comes to marriage. Women are increasingly wary of entering into unions that lack the promise of financial stability, viewing economic security as a prerequisite for a successful partnership. As a result, the quest for a suitable mate extends beyond mere compatibility to encompass fiscal responsibility and the ability to provide for a family. The fear of living with the husband's family encapsulates broader societal trends and challenges facing women in China. It reflects not only the intricacies of familial dynamics, but also the economic uncertainties shaping individuals' life choices. Policy initiatives. China is currently grappling with the challenges posed by declining marriage and birth rates and a rising number of single women. In response, the Chinese government has implemented various policies aimed at incentivizing marriage and boosting birth rates. One such measure, enacted in 2020, extended maternity leave for married women in major cities across China to 98 days. This extension was intended to provide added support and encouragement for women to consider starting families. Additionally, China has introduced financial incentives to motivate young couples to have more children. These incentives encompass a range of benefits, including bonuses, tax breaks, and subsidies for childcare costs. Furthermore, the government has taken steps to alleviate the financial burden of housing by reducing real estate prices, thereby making it more feasible for couples to establish households and expand their families. Recognizing the challenges faced by single women in finding suitable partners, many companies in China have introduced policies to support their employees in this regard. For instance, single women over the age of 30 are often granted an additional 8 days of annual leave to facilitate their search for a life partner. Moreover, some companies have opted to shorten working hours for employees while ensuring that their compensation remains unaffected. These initiatives aim to strike a balance between work and personal life, thereby creating opportunities for individuals to pursue relationships and marriage. Despite these efforts, there remains ongoing debate about the effectiveness of such policies in promoting marriage rates. Critics argue that while these measures may provide short-term incentives, they do not address underlying societal factors contributing to declining marriage rates, such as changing attitudes towards marriage and family, economic pressures, and gender dynamics. As such, there is a call for more comprehensive strategies that tackle these root issues. One potential avenue for promoting marriage rates could involve initiatives aimed at fostering a culture that values and supports marriage and family life. This could include educational programs promoting healthy relationships and family values, as well as initiatives to provide greater financial stability and support for couples considering marriage and starting families. Additionally, efforts to address gender imbalances and promote gender equality in both the workplace and society at large could help create a more conducive environment for marriage and family formation. Moreover, there is a growing recognition of the need for policies that cater to the diverse needs and preferences of individuals in modern society. This could involve offering flexible work arrangements. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.